Good morning, all of you. So, in the last class, we solved some problems based on that magnetic force acting on a current carrying conductor. And that means we completed that in the previous classes. We completed the motion of charged particle in that fields, combined fields. Then in the previous class, we solved a few problems based on the magnetic force. So let us see a few more problems based on the magnetic force, so that you will get more clarity about that. And after that we will start about this torque acting on the current carrying coil, right? So let us see some few more problems based on this force acting on this current carrying conductor. So that means we derived an expression like that force formula is equal to, first we write this as I into dl bar cross b bar, and then to find the current, that means the total force, we integrate this equation idl bar cross b bar, right? And so then basing on this type of the conductor, we derived that formula there. That means if it is a straight conductor, we derived one formula. If it is a curved conductor, and if it is a closed conductor, so like that. So straight conductor means that integral of I means you will get like BIL sine theta, or for these curved conductors, so I into like PQ bar cross B bar, where PQ is like the shortest distance between them. And for the closed conductor, in general, this force will be 0, and we mentioned the conditions also. That means under which conditions it may be 0 and which conditions it may not be 0 also. We solved some problems also based on that, right? And so now let us see a few more problems based on that. So note down this problem here. A circular conductor of radius r, is bent such that one semicircle PQR lies in YZ plane, and other semicircle RSP lies in YZ plane, sorry, XZ plane. R is the radius of the circle, and I is the current flowing through it. If a magnetic field of induction B is applied parallel to the y-axis, then find magnetic force acting on this circular lobe. Find the magnetic force acting on the circular lobe. So that means now here it is like a complete circle only. Just we are bending like half of the circle will lies in, that means half of the circle will lying in one plane and other half is lying in this perpendicular plane here. So current is flowing in the same sense, like it may be clockwise or anti-clockwise, it is flowing in that same sense here. Now the magnetic field is applied like this. And so now magnetic force we need to write here. And so now suppose I am writing this first force acting on PQR. So let us write the force acting on this PQR here. That means I am taking it as a two semicircles here. First I am writing the force acting on that semicircle PQR. So force acting on that semicircle PQR, you can write it as, you may apply this vector form also. Suppose this I into, now we need to write this shortest distance here. That means P to R. So right, So 2R k cap, sorry, minus k cap. Is it clear? I am writing in vector form. PR bar we need to write. So that PR bar we need to take along this negative z direction here. This is the negative z direction. Because that means now the current is flowing along this direction. So PR bar will be along this direction. Cross B J cap. And so therefore this F bar, that means PQR is equal to, you may write that as PI 2 into BIR into J cap cross, that means K cap cross J cap. So J cap cross K cap, K cap cross J cap is I cap, and so minus is there. So then it is I cap you will get, right? So the force acting on this conductor, you may verify by using our right hand rule also, sorry, left hand rule also, Fleming's left hand rule. So field is acting upwards and current is flowing along this direction here. So that means our PQ bar will be there like this. And so current is acting, field is along this upward direction. So the force will be along this direction here, right? And so next let us similarly take this, this vector here. That means this side let us consider here. So that means now you can write this as force acting on this RSP bar. That means this semicircle we are taking here. So if you are taking that semicircle, again let us write here. So I bar cross 2R into, now here identify the vector here. We are replacing the semicircle by a shortest distance here. So the shortest distance we can take it as K cap, that means 2R into K cap. Now it is along this Z direction here, positive Z direction. So cross B J cap. And so that this vector we can write this as RSP is equal to 2BIR minus I cap you will get. That means now it is K cap cross J cap, so it is minus I cap. And therefore this net force acting on this loop will be equal to F bar of PQR and FRS bar, RSP bar. So you can easily say that both are equal in magnitude and opposite direction, so that the net force acting on that will be 0. So in the same problem, suppose if they are reversing the direction here, for this loop also if current is flowing along this direction, then you will get magnetic force, we need to add them. That means this also will get then plus. So then we need to add that magnetic forces there. That means then 4 BIR you will get. If the current in this direction is from P to R, here it is P to R and here also it is PSR, that means P to R. Then the force, both the forces, force acting on both the semicircles will be in same direction and we need to add both of them, right? And so now let us see one more problem here. So like current is flowing like this, current, this again 3/4 of the circle is shown here. Now here a magnetic field is applied into the plane, I is a current flowing to this, 3/4 of the circle of radius R. And I is a current flowing through that. Suppose this magnetic field is say into the plane, right? And so now here the given information is the force acting on this rod PS. So note down the data. The 3/4 of a circle of radius R is closed by a straight wire PQ. That means instead of this circular arc here, we are taking a straight wire so that it closes that circle there. Closes by a straight wire PS as shown in figure. I is a current flowing through that circular loop. I is a, sorry, the given information is that information is not there here, only that write that information. circle, about that circle we mentioned that if force acting on the rod PS is F, force acting on the rod PS is F, then find the force acting on the semicircle PQR. Find the force acting on the semicircle PQR. So that means the force acting on this wire is given as F for us. So with the help of that we need to find the force acting on this semicircle we need to find here. And that magnetic field is there into the plane. Magnetic field is there, uniform magnetic field is applied into the plane. So simply here let us write first the given expression for this force acting on this PS rod here. So the force acting on this rod we can write as, so force on PS. So this force is given as F here, and so now F means we can write this as this F direction you can identify as, if current is like this, then magnetic field is into the plane and current is flowing like this, and so this force is acting like this. The force direction will be there like this. And so now if force acting on that wire is this F value, force acting on this PS is F. Now let us write force acting on this R to S also. Now I am calculating only force acting on this R to S. Force on SR. So can you say this force acting on SR? Only this part here, 1/4 of the circle we are taking. The force acting on this SR also we can write this as, this also we can replace by a straight wire here, right? We can replace, to find the force acting on that curved part, we can replace it by a straight wire. And so when you are replacing it by a straight wire, so that the current I is flowing like this. Now again you can apply this Fleming's left hand rule here. Field is into the plane, current is flowing like this, and so thumb will be along this direction, and so force is along this direction. And so suppose here I am assuming this F1 here, this F1 should be numerically equal to F value here. The magnitude must be equal to this F, because here also length root 2R only, and here also length of this part will be root 2R only, right? And so that these two must be same in magnitude, and so that the direction will be like this. So they are perpendicular to each other actually. And so now if I write this net force acting on this PSR, the net force acting on this PSR we can write this as semicircle. Net force on semicircle PSR is equal to, just you may resolve this into components here and you can find that. That means this angle is 45 and this angle is 45 degrees. And so now you can say that it makes an angle 45 degrees with either horizontal or vertical here. That means this angle you can consider it as 45. And so similarly here it is making an angle 45 here. So F cos 45. And similarly for this F cos 45, this will be F sin 45. And so that force will be equal to 2F sin 45 you can write. Because this cos 45 term will be cancelled here, this force is at upward direction, this force will be downward direction. And so therefore it is root 2F you will get. So now force acting on this semicircle is root 2F, then force acting on this semicircle should also be root 2F in opposite direction there, because the net force acting on this loop will be equal to 0, right? So that means now as net force acting on loop is 0, because it is a closed loop and carrying the current in the same sense here. Net force acting on the loop is 0. Therefore, force acting on this RQP, that means this one, should be equal to, the magnitude of force acting on this must be equal to magnitude of force acting on this PSR. So which is equal to root 2F. And if they are asked direction, if this is positive x direction, then it should be negative x direction there. So there is a force acting on that. And next here, let us take one more problem here based on this same circular part. So write that data. A circular loop of radius A is placed in a radial magnetic field lying in the plane such that its magnitude is equal to B naught. On the circumference of the circle. If I is a current flowing through the loop, find the expression for force acting on the circular ring. So is it clear? The magnetic field will be there in that plane only. That means the current carrying coil and magnetic field both are in the same plane. And so now the field is varying along this radial direction here. Just I mentioned this arrows like this. So at any point the direction of the field will be radially outwards like this. The direction of this field is radially outwards like this. So the magnitude is on the circumference of the circle. The magnitude is B naught is given here. So it is a closed loop placed in the magnetic field here. So now is the force acting on that closed loop is 0 in this case? So it is not 0. You should think it carefully here. So just let us take a small element here. Suppose here I am taking this small element here. So let us take a small element of this conductor of length dl for example. And now let us write the force acting on this small element here. So can you identify the direction of the magnetic force there? Direction of magnetic force means you can apply this Fleming's left hand rule. Field is lying in the plane and it is radially away. So that means for this element field is along this direction and a current is here we are taking in clockwise sense. So current is flowing like this. So we should take that current in downward direction like this. So field is out of the plane here. So the magnetic force acting on this small element will be out of the plane. So like that you may consider any element here. Suppose here I am taking a small element. So let us take this small element here. So can you identify the direction of the force here? Here field is again along this direction here. The magnetic field is along this radially outward direction here. So the central finger is like this. So thumb is in outward direction here. So that means what we can conclude here is the magnetic force acting on the every element of the ring will be in upward direction only. So every element of the ring, the magnetic force is acting in upward direction here. And so we need to add all those forces to get the net force acting on the ring. And so that means force acting on small element df is equal to, so what we can write is B naught into I into dl. And that sine 90 you will get here, that BAL sine theta if you write. So that this will be B naught I into dl you will get. And so now the total force acting on all elements is out of plane. So therefore this total force we can write as integral of df. So which we can write it as B naught into I into integral of dl. And as we are integrating for the total circle, you can write this as 0 to 2 pi a. as we are taking this radius as a, so 2 pi r or 2 pi a here. So that means now it is b naught into I into 2 pi a. So this will be the direction of the force, and this force is out of the plane here. That is the direction of that force, right? So that is this in case of radial field here. And such a similar one more problem is there here for the radial magnetic field. So let us see that problem now. So that means now here the radial means it is radially the circular ring will be there like this. Now the radial means it will be along this direction here. The magnetic field will be there at any point along this direction. So here this is the meaning of this radial. Starting from this origin here. So starting from this origin it will be outward direction here. Suppose it makes some angle theta. So the radius of the ring is, let us consider it as r. Now it is coordinates is, suppose they will mention like some this is say x axis, y axis, and this is z axis here. So that these coordinates of that circle you can consider it as 0, 0, d. So just mention that problem there. In a radial magnetic field given by B bar is equal to B naught E or cap. It means that E or cap means that is a meaning there. It is acting along the direction. Generally they will represent like this. This radial magnetic field. In a radial magnetic field given by B is equal to B naught into E or cap. A circular loop of radius r carrying current I is placed parallel to the xy plane with its center at so write that center here 0, 0, d. Then find magnetic force acting on the circular loop. Find magnetic force acting on the circular loop. So there that field is radial only, but that field is plane. It is lying in the plane only, but it is radial, like it is now the field is like starting from origin and it is directed away here. Like in the form of a cone you will get. If the circle, if you are assuming as a base of the cone, now the field is along the surface of this cone here. And so that is the field is like that. And so now let us write this expression here, the magnetic force. So for the magnetic force means now there you can consider this angle as, suppose I am considering it is angle is theta. The same procedure, we need to consider a small element here, and now this field is say B naught along this direction here. So let us resolve this B naught into components so that you will get the magnetic field components directions there. Magnetic force direction you can write it easily. So that I am taking this as so this angle is theta we are taking there with the vertical. So this angle will be theta. So this force is B naught cos theta, this component of the field, and this is B naught sin theta. So now the force due to both the components, let us analyze the directions of the force due to magnetic force due to B naught cos theta and B naught sin theta, so that you can write this. Is it clear? B bar is along this direction. Just we are resolving here. Now this B naught sin theta will be lying in the plane here, and a B naught in the plane of that circle, and a B naught cos theta will be perpendicular to the plane of the circle. And we already solved those two problems now. If the field is perpendicular to the plane of the circle, what is the net force acting on this circular loop? And if the field is lying in the plane and it is radial direction, now what is the force acting on that force? This is nothing but our previous. Now here you can observe that our B sin theta is exactly similar to that of our previous problem, this problem, right? Because everywhere you will get that B sin theta component radially outward direction. So B sin theta is similar to this. and b cos theta is similar to that of this problem here. If a circular loop is there like this, and if the magnetic field is there out of the plane, for example, a magnetic field is present out of the plane, then what is the force acting on that circular loop? In that case, current is flowing in the same sense there. So then it will be 0, right? So then here also you will get the same thing here. The magnetic field due to magnetic force due to b cos theta will be 0, or you may consider just directions there. If you are taking a dl element there, so then as the current we are taking like this. So our circle is lying in this plane here. Here this side we are taking a small element here. If you are taking a small element, then the current is out of the plane here, out of the plane. So central finger is out of the plane, then b cos theta will be along this direction. Then force you will get due to that b cos theta, force you will get towards the center due to b cos theta. And similarly, if I consider this element here, so here if the current is out of the plane, then here current is into the plane. So then there you will get like this. Here field is into the plane, and there field is also, that means towards the center, and here also field towards the center. So those two forces will cancel with each other, and so then the force will be 0 due to that b cos theta. So only due to b sin theta that force will be there, which is similar to that of this problem, right? And so now here I am writing here force due to b naught cos theta component on circular loop is 0. So therefore now force due to b naught sin theta component. We need to copy, instead of just b naught sin theta we need to consider that. So then force due to b naught sin theta on small element. So then force due to b naught sin theta on the small element will be dF is equal to b naught sin theta into I into dl, and this force will be along this z direction you will get here, that means k cap. Sin theta component is along this direction, and if you are taking an element here, current is flowing like this, then you will get out of the plane. So that means along this k cap direction you will get here. And so force due to all the components will be, all the elements will be in the same direction, so you can integrate and you can write here. So therefore this total force F is equal to, I can write this as integral of b naught sin theta I into dl, and so which you can write it as b naught sin theta I into integral of dl. That integral of dl is nothing but 0 to 2 pi r you can write. So it is totally along this k cap direction only. And so let us simplify that calculation here, and the sin theta is unknown for us. So that means sin theta value you can write in terms of this radius and distance. Sometimes they may give that theta value, then you can substitute directly that theta value. So b naught sin theta into I into 2 pi r k cap. So if suppose if theta value, but theta value what we can write is sin theta value can substitute by using this triangle here. This distance is d is given and this is r. Therefore sin theta we can write as r by under root of d square plus r square you can write. Therefore this force F bar is equal to 2 pi into b naught into I r square by under root of d square plus r square you can write k cap. So this is the force expression there, force acting on this circular loop in that case. Right? And so next write this another problem here based on the same circular loop. A closed loop of length L carrying current I is placed on a horizontal surface. is placed on a horizontal surface. If a magnetic field B, magnetic field of induction B is applied perpendicular to the loop, perpendicular to the plane of the loop, then find tension developed in the loop. That means, we are placing that loop. Suppose if you are placing the loop loosely like that, and once if you apply this magnetic field, then it will attain the circular loop, shape here. Like suppose once if you apply a magnetic field here, so then the shape of this loop will changes like this. It will changes into a circle of some radius r. Suppose say this I is a current flowing through this. And like so magnetic field is applied like this, B bar is acting like this into the plane, right? So now our question is we need to find why it attains this, means because of this, so the magnetic field is out of the plane, let us consider here. And why it is attaining this, shape means, circular shape means, because we know force acting on this, every element will be there here. So that force will be now if the field is out of the plane and if the current is flowing in this anti-clockwise direction like this, then force acting on this every element will be actually will get like this. Outward direction force will be there. Force acting on this every element of this loop will be like this. So force acting on this every element of this loop will be outwards. So when you are pulling the loop like this in outward direction, then automatically it attains a circular in shape here, so that it attains a circular in shape. And so we know the net force acting on that circular loop will be 0 only. We discussed it in many problems here. So now net force is 0, but there will be some tension developed in that string here. That tension we need to calculate here, right? So that the net force acting on this, you can mention it here it as net force acting on this loop will be 0 only. But some tension will be developed in that loop, that tension we need to calculate. So for that we consider a small element of the circle. So we are taking this small element of the circle here. Suppose it subtend an angle of 2 theta. So we are taking such a small element here. It's a very small element only, so that this angle theta and this is the theta. So the total angle we can consider it as a 2 theta value here. And so now just we write the forces acting on this. And so suppose here we represent like tension is acting like this, and here some tension will be there like this. And so now we can resolve these tensions into components here. So if this angle is theta, then this angle will be theta. So along this direction t cos theta you will get, and along this direction t sin theta you will get. And similarly along this direction this will be theta. So this is t cos theta. And this will be again t sin theta, so we can write it as 2t sin theta we can write. And now there will be some magnetic force acting on the loop in outward direction here, because the current is flowing like this in this loop, current is flowing along this direction here. So there will be some magnetic field will be there, magnetic current is, that means the situation will be there like this, current is flowing like this and the field is out of the plane, and so there will be some magnetic force acting on this in upward direction here. So this will be dF, magnetic force acting on this loop. And so now in equilibrium. So in equilibrium, we can write this as 2t sin theta is equal to dF. So therefore this is 2t theta is equal to sin theta, theta value is very small here, so sin theta value can consider it as theta here, and dF means we can write this as bi into dl. So just we are taking this sin theta is approximately equal to theta, and therefore this value we can write it as t into 2 theta is equal to bi into dl. dl means that length of this arc we need to write. So length of this arc we can write as r into 2 theta we can write. So the 2 theta you can cancel here. This is bi into r we need to write. But here that R is not given for us, L is given. So we need to write in terms of this L. So we know this L is equal to, we can write this as 2 pi R. Therefore R is equal to L by 2 pi we can write. So in terms of this length, therefore this tension is equal to BIL by 2 pi we can write. So this is the tension developed in that wire here, right? So this is the tension developed in that wire when if you switch on this magnetic field. And so next, let us see some problems based on this. That means sometimes the magnetic field may be given as a variable magnetic field. So let us see how to find the force acting in case of variable magnetic field here. So that means here, note down that data there. Means I am taking it as a square loop traced along this direction here. This is a x and y axis. So if current is flowing like this, the magnetic field is varying according to B bar is equal to B naught into 1 plus some x by L k cap, right? So this is O, A, B, C. So note down that problem. A square loop of length L, side L, a square loop of side L carrying current I is placed in XY plane as shown in the figure. Is placed in XY plane as shown in the figure. If there is non-uniform, if a non-uniform magnetic field, so write that expression, B bar is equal to B naught into 1 plus x by L k cap is applied, then find the force acting on the square loop. Find the force acting on the square loop, right? So now let us calculate the force acting on the each side here so that you will get the clarity about that. So clearly the magnetic field will be perpendicular only. Magnetic field is out of the plane here. It is along given as a k cap here. So then force acting on this wire, suppose I am writing this OA, force acting on OA. Force acting on OA. Let it be F1 here. Can you say its direction? The direction of that force is magnetic field is out of the plane and a current is flowing like this. Current is flowing from O to A and magnetic field is out of the plane, and so this force F1 will be along this direction. And so to find this F1 value directly we can't write our BIL formula, even though it is a straight wire, only that OA wire if we consider, you can't apply the BIL formula because here B is a variable here. And so that what we need to write here is we need to consider this variable here, that means a small element you can consider, and we need to write that force here for small element. Is it clear why I am taking this small element here? Because that B is variable. The same magnetic field is not acting on this wire here. So for different elements, different magnetic force is acting. Suppose if I consider a small element here, dx at a length of x from this. So then force acting on this element now we are writing here. The df is nothing but actually this force acting on this here. So that force we can write it as B into I into dx. Therefore, this F1 is equal to integral of B into I into dx. Now, B means we need to substitute this expression there. So, B naught into I also you can write outside 1 plus x by L dx. Now the limits are x varies from 0 to L. So therefore it is b naught I into, here integral of 1 means x you will get, so that the limits I am substituting, or let us write here x plus x square by 2L, and limits are from 0 to L. So b naught I cap into, you can substitute that limits there too. So therefore this F1 is equal to 3 by 2 into b naught IL. So this is our F1 value here. And next let us write similarly the force acting on this CB wire I am writing here. That means BC wire. So then directly you can say that force acting on the CB value will be, again there also x value is variable, but simply the thing is the direction is opposite here. So that simply I can write directly here, because the magnetic field is along this, that means magnetic field is out of the plane, current is flowing along this direction, and so the force will be upwards. So the force acting on this will be along this upward direction here. Let us take this as F3. Is it clear? So why I am taking that means, first because these two are similar positions over there. That means here also x is variable and here also x is variable here. So directly what I can write here is force acting on BC. This is F3, which is equal to, directly I am taking this value 3 by 2 into B naught IL by B naught IL, 3 by 2 into. Is it clear? So that is the force acting on this. They are opposite in direction here. F1 and F3 are opposite in direction. And next let us write force acting on this AB. So again you may apply this rule here. That means our Fleming's rule. This is outwards and this is upward. Current is upward direction. So thumb is like this. So this is F2. And similarly you may verify this. You will get this F4 direction like this. So now let us write this F2 value here. Force acting on AB, so which is our F2. Can you say F2, force acting on F2? And first of all let us think, is the field is variable or constant? Is the magnetic field is variable magnetic field or constant magnetic field? So here the force acting on this will be a, that means the x value will be for this AB, x value is a constant value, x is equal to L, right? And so that the field acting on this AB wire will be a constant magnetic field will be there, and so that we can write this as directly that B into I into L we can write. Therefore this B means, what we need to write here is B naught into 1 plus L by L we need to write into I into L. Is it clear? Because at that position x is equal to L here. So since what we are writing is x is equal to L we are writing here for this AB wire. And so that then this value will be F2 is equal to 2 B naught IL you will get. Now similarly let us write force acting on this CO. Force acting on CO. This is F4 value. So for F4 also then you will get a similar conclusion here. Y is, that means for this x is equal to 0 because it is along this y axis. So x is equal to 0 means again the constant field will be there, which is B naught. So then BIL formula we can write. Therefore this F4 is equal to B naught into I into L. For CO, x is equal to 0. That means x is equal to 0, so that magnetic field will be this value. And therefore the net force we can write it as net force on the loop, square loop will be equal to F2 minus F4. Because we clearly you can say that these two are equal and opposite, so they cancel with each other. The force acting on these two wires will cancel with each other, and force acting on only these two wires will be there. And so that this will be 2 B naught into IL minus B naught into IL, so that it will be B naught into IL. So this is the net force acting on this here. And if they ask the direction is nothing but along this F2 direction, which is positive x direction here. So that means this is along x axis. This net force is along positive x-axis. So that is the direction of that force, right? So that means like that we need to solve that. If the field is variable field is given, then like this we need to solve that field acting on this, that means force acting on these different conductors there. Next, some problems will be there like basing on related to some mechanics concepts by simply by applying the simple mechanics concepts you can solve these problems here. Like suppose here this wire will be there, that means here this suppose this is an inclined plane is placed like this is an inclined plane, let us consider here, which makes an angle theta here. Now a wire is placed on that and it is slipping here. The wire is slipping, that means wire is placed on this, a current carrying wire is placed on this inclined plane here. Suppose I am taking this inclined, this wire is like this of mass m. And so now suppose it is carrying some current here. The current is there along this direction here. Suppose a current is flowing along this direction here. So then what should be the magnetic field to be applied here? Vertical magnetic field, so that the wire moves down with the constant velocity. The wire is moving down with the constant velocity. So note down that problem. A current carrying wire PQ, a current carrying wire PQ of mass m and length L is placed on an inclined plane, placed on a smooth inclined plane of inclination theta, If the wire is moving down with a constant velocity, in the presence of a uniform magnetic field, find the expression for magnetic field, and there two conditions are there. First condition, if magnetic field is vertically upwards, and the next one is if magnetic field is perpendicular to the inclined plane, that means there the diagram is clear. The plane is like this and we are placing a wire here. If suppose this is the plane, so this is the wire here, so that this wire is sliding down because it is a smooth inclined plane, so there is no friction here, so it is sliding down. So actually if no magnetic force is acting here, then it slides down with the g sine theta. We know acceleration of any object sliding down the smooth inclined plane will be g sine theta. So but it is moving with constant velocity. Means net force should be equal to 0, net force acting on that. So now let us consider if the field is like vertically upwards here. So the forces acting on this, I am writing here, the forces acting on this, or this will be parallel to the plane, mg sine theta will be there, parallel to this inclined plane. And so now see the direction of this magnetic field here. The magnetic field will be there like this. If suppose wire is like this, so current is flowing along this direction, so you will get magnetic force as horizontal direction here. Is it clear? The magnetic force will be acting along this direction, you will get along horizontal direction, you will get this is a magnetic force. Is it clear? The direction of this magnetic field. This is the inclined plane we are taking, and this is the current carrying wire here. So current is flowing out of the plane like this. Field is vertically upward direction, so thumb is along this horizontal direction here. So that is the magnetic force direction here. So you can resolve this into components. So if you are resolving this into component, then you will get this one component as f cos theta along this direction, and f sin theta will be perpendicular to the inclined plane, you will get f sin theta component. So now as the wire is moving down with the constant velocity, as velocity is constant, so what we can write here is f cos theta should be equal to mg sin theta. So these two forces should balance with each other. And so that now this f cos theta is, f is nothing but BIL we can write. So BIL cos theta is equal to mg sin theta. And therefore this B is equal to mg by IL into tan theta. Is it clear? So that is the magnetic field required if magnetic field is vertically upwards here. If magnetic field is vertically upwards, then that is the force required there. And now let us see if the magnetic field is perpendicular to the inclined plane. So this case is if field is vertically upwards. If field is upwards. So now if field is perpendicular to the inclined plane, I am taking here. If field is perpendicular to the plane, perpendicular to the inclined plane and upwards, perpendicular to the inclined plane, right? So just I am taking this wire as a, you may represent like this, or I am representing like a wire as this just a dot here, so that you can draw the free body diagram more easily here. This is our inclined plane. Now inclined plane will be along this direction here. Now just this dot means that current is flowing out of the plane here. You can represent that free body two-dimensional diagram like this, right? So then weight of this wire is acting vertically downwards here. Now the magnetic field is along this direction here. Magnetic field is perpendicular to the inclined plane. That is the given condition here. And so now weight of this wire will be there, mg acting downwards. And so now you can resolve this into components as usual. This will be mg, this angle will be theta. So this will be mg sin theta and mg cos theta, right? And so now here this magnetic force we need to think here. Now I is flowing out of the plane. So the magnetic field will be there like this. So that means if this is the wire here, current carrying wire carrying this current outward direction. So then what we can write is the magnetic field is along this, current is along this direction. Magnetic field is perpendicular to the inclined plane here. Now this thumb we are getting parallel to the inclined plane and an upward direction we are getting here. So the magnetic force will be parallel to the inclined plane and in upward direction you will get. Is it clear? Just you need to identify the directions carefully there. So if you are taking this as this current carrying, this is the inclined plane we are taking and this is the current carrying wire. So just to place the apply this right hand left hand rule like this. So thumb is parallel to the inclined plane and up the inclined plane you will get. And so just in equilibrium, so here also same condition, as velocity is 0, velocity is constant. So as velocity is constant, what we can write is Fm magnetic force is equal to mg sin theta we can write, and therefore this BIL is equal to mg sin theta. So this I is equal to B value we need to find here. So B is equal to mg by IL into sin theta we can write. So it is a magnetic field in this case. So the magnetic field required in this case will be given by this expression, right? And so next problem, sometimes they may include that friction also, then we need to consider that friction effect also here. That means the friction, that means when the body is sliding down, then the friction will be there upward direction. Then that frictional force we need to, as the body is sliding down, we need to write that frictional force as mu n. Or sometimes they may give the condition like body is ready to slide down, then also we need to write that mu n expressions there, right? Based on this, few more problems are there based on this friction related and this magnetic force. We will discuss those problems in our next class, and after completion of that I will start the torque acting on the current carrying loops, right? Thank you.